Be honest, we saw the Xbox Showcase. I did some reactions on Mooch's channel, and obviously, absolutely blown away by what we were seeing. And I think that this was hands down the best showcase that Microsoft has done in for as long as I can remember, quite honestly. And there's always going to be people that have a little bit of give and take opinion on these things, but honestly, I felt like Microsoft did exactly what they needed to do to get people excited. For me personally, again, everybody knows that I am a Fable fan, and so to kick off a show with Fable, I was very excited. I've been podcasting for over 4 hours, so I'm a little bit tired right now, and my throat's a little bit kind of, I would say, rough due to the excitement levels and things like that. But Microsoft really kicked it off well with Fable. Some people were maybe disappointed that there wasn't more gameplay, but there was a mix of gameplay with the cinematics, with the giant. You kind of wondered where they would go with that game, and I thought they did a fantastic job of showing it. The one that I would say maybe was a little bit suspect on terms of showing anything, whether it's in engine or whatever, was South of Midnight, the new game from Compulsion, which again, I thought if it's that art style and stuff, it looked really cool. I'm very interested. It's apparently a single player, third person action game, which is quite surprising because if you think about it, Microsoft traditionally more known for the multiplayer games, and so the fact that they showed so many single player games realistically is pretty incredible and kind of the exact opposite of what Sony's doing. So they showed South of Midnight, some in-engine stuff, looked interesting. I definitely want to check that out. Star Wars Outlaws from Ubisoft, I thought looked great. Really cool stuff that they were able to kind of showcase on there. I think that that is a game that's going to be fantastic. I'm proud that Microsoft was able to kind of put this out and do such an amazing job. And right away, I was just like super impressed with what they were kind of showing and with the ability to kind of, save the showcase season, which is exactly what I think they needed to do because let's just be honest, it hasn't been a great season for showcases. Then they showed 33 Immortals as like, an indie game or whatever. Not my particular thing, but it didn't look terrible. Payday 3, again, I'm not really into the Payday games, but a lot of people are. Day one on Game Pass, I felt like that's a pretty good thing. Probably a good idea for that studio to put that game into Game Pass day one. You have a built-in group of 30 million people ready to play it. Persona 3 Remake in Game Pass, again, that's not my type of game, but cool to see that Microsoft is still out there making sure that they have a good variety of games for a lot of different people, which is really cool. Then they showed off Avowed. Like, I was impressed with it. Was it fantastic graphically? No, but it looks like a much larger, updated Skyrim with, guns and magic and dual wielding stuff. And, I thought it looked really good for what I'm looking for. And they said it's going to come out in 2024. So I think that that is fantastic. It looks like Microsoft is finally living up to the 4 big games a year. And, let's just hope that they can continue to do that. I think that they have really set themselves up for it. And they continue to, in my opinion, just impress the hell out of me. I just like this showcase left me speechless, just honestly. They did the Sea of Thieves Monkey Island update that's going to be coming out very soon. I thought that was very cool. Listen, people maybe groan at this type of thing, but at the same time, you have to realize that this is a very successful games as a service, a live service game. It needs constant updates. It needs, all that kind of stuff. And so that's what they're kind of going to have to do. So you get people back interested in it. And that's, I think that they were able to kind of pull this off and they did a really good job with it. So, yeah, nice to see that. Flight sim again with Dune. It's a whole new flight simulator, I guess, next year. So that's really cool that they were able to kind of accomplish that and get a whole new flight simulator out. I, for one, am not into flight simulator games, right? It's not for me. It is what it is. But for me, I thought they look cool. It's got some interesting stuff to it. But I just honestly am not going to be a flight sim guy. Like I couldn't really be bothered to play that. But if you guys are into that, I think that's cool. I think it looked great for sure, and I'm very interested to see what happens in the future. They showed off some Hellblade 2. Looks phenomenal. This was actually running on the Series X with what they showed. I thought it looked very, very cool. This is going to be a game that they also earmarked for 2024. Fantastic stuff. You could tell they're setting themselves up for a good 2024 as well, because if you can get You know, Flight Sim, Hellblade 2, Avowed. There's rumors that a new Forza Horizon is coming out next year. You know, that's a good amount of games, and I think that they might even sneak some other stuff in there. So we'll see. They did Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Again, those Yakuza games have really taken off since they've been on Xbox and stuff like that. They did Fallout 76, got an update. Again, that's turned into a pretty successful game. Not my type of game, but pretty successful. Then a new IP from Capcom, which looks impressive. Most impressive, this is going to be on Game Pass Day 1. Path of the Goddess. I think this is like exactly what a lot of fans were asking for. Much variety in terms of what Microsoft was offering, and a big game coming to Game Pass. Next up, they showed Forza Motorsport confirmed the October 10th, 2023 release date. Look good. They're going to go more into detail on this as well with the single player stuff later this week. Also, Elder Scrolls Online, I thought looked really, really good with what they were able to kind of accomplish with that. Again, that game has a huge player base. They did an Overwatch update, a Persona Tactica game. Then they kind of surprised us with like a Starfield thing, right? There's a Starfield trailer. I thought it looked pretty cool, you know, like with what they were able to kind of show with that, like a really polished trailer that you might see like on a TV commercial or something, and it looked really good. Later on, when they did the Starfield Direct, I thought that was fantastic. Blew my mind with what they've been able to kind of showcase so far. Then they did a Don't Nod game called Jasant, which looked good. That's Game Pass Day 1, by the way. Then another one called Still in the Deep, Dungeons of the Hinterberg. Then they had Keanu Reeves back out on stage doing the Cyberpunk 2077 DLC, which is coming this year. City Skylines 2, that's a Day 1 Game Pass game. Then a brand new game for Atlas. I think this is the first new IP from Atlas in a very, very long time, called Metaphor. Looked interesting. You know, I saw a lot of people really kind of were pretty wowed by this. Very, very interesting artwork and gameplay and things like that. Then there was this project called Project Belfry that was this kind of take sort of on, I guess, Castle Crashers, and now that's Towerborn, which I think really looked cool. It's like a kind of a beat 'em up cartoonish, looks a little bit like Castle Crashers, but I'm guessing that you're going to be able to like play with friends or whatever, either online or co-op or whatever. So yeah, pretty stoked about that. You know, like I said, Microsoft really seemed to go all out with this stuff. They also did close the show with the In Exile game called Clockwork Revolution. This game surprised the hell out of me, right? Like, this is a first-person shooter / RPG with all the deep RPG elements that their games usually have. And it just looked so cool. It looked almost like it was like steampunk, and it looked almost like a Bioshock-esque type of game. It surprised me because I never looked at In Exile as a company that would deliver a game that I personally would want to play and that I would really want to be into. But really, they just nailed it. And I thought that this game looked absolutely phenomenal. And I'm just crazy good stuff that they were able to showcase. And they did all of this stuff in 1 hour, right? This showcase was only an hour, and then they did an extended Starfield showcase. So in this amount of time, they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 first-party announces. 12. And what's even more funny is Fable, South of Midnight, Avowed, Hellblade 2, Starfield, Clockwork Revolution. These are 6 single-player games. People would always say, oh, well, Microsoft won't do single-player games. You can't make money on them in Game Pass, etc., etc. And now they're showing that they are doing all of this stuff. Not only that, but they also managed to have Clockwork Revolution, the Xbox Series S, 1 terabyte. It's coming in black now for $349. And people might go, oh, that's a ripoff, blah, blah, blah. Well, think about it, right? So you used to get the 500 gigs in that for $299. To get the extra 500 gigs was $79. So you're actually saving a little bit there. I think it would have been better if they could have got that out for $299, but still, I'm not going to complain about it. And then what we saw from Starfield, just absolutely insane. This might be the deepest, most immersive RPG I've ever seen in my life. It looks crazy good. Everybody is just going crazy about this game. It looks so amazing. You know, the amount of content that this game has absolutely stunning. And the fact that it's going to be in Game Pass day one, holy shit, that is wild. I cannot wait to see more on this game. I'm sure everybody out there is feeling the same way. If you ask me, would I give it a 10 out of 10, an A plus, whatever you want to call it, this is the show of shows. This was what I was looking for, and this is exactly what we got. Just simply amazing, honestly, simply amazing. I am absolutely thrilled with the showcase. This was the one that I think people are going to be most excited about. They nailed it. If you're worried that you didn't see enough or whatever, they're going to be doing more on Wednesday. Deep dives into some of the games like Hellblade 2 and Avowed. We'll probably see more gameplay there as well as Forza Motorsport. But yeah, just crazy. What did you guys think, though? I'm very curious. I see a lot of positivity out there for Xbox. And once again, Fable is back. I am thrilled that, we finally are going to have a new Fable game. And it looked like they kept that Fable charm. And, again, that's exciting. I like what Microsoft is doing. All this stuff, really, really cool. Awesome announcements. Loved it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.